The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as the holographic transmission from the Caesarian diplomatic envoy concluded. For several long moments, the representatives of the various galactic civilizations sat in stunned silence, their expressions ranging from bewilderment to outright disbelief. Nraz, the venerable Klendathu ambassador, was the first to find his voice. This is unprecedented. The Caesarian royal family has never before deigned to travel aboard anything other than their own state-of-the-art diplomatic shuttles. He shook his head slowly, his multifaceted eyes glinting with a hint of concern. And to demand a human vessel, of all things. Surely, this is some sort of test or political ploy. Across the circular chamber, the human representative, Anita Sharma, straightened in her seat, her brow furrowed in contemplation. The humans have only recently joined the Galactic Council. Could this be an attempt by the Caesarians to assess our capabilities, or even to undermine our standing? The Arcturian High Counselor, Vexthera, raised a tentacle-like appendage. Regardless of the Caesarians' motivations, we cannot simply dismiss their request. To do so would be a grave insult, one that could jeopardize delicate diplomatic relations. The Arcturian's voice was laced with the weight of centuries of experience. We must consider this matter carefully and respond in a manner befitting the gravity of the situation. Nraz nodded solemnly. The Caesarian Empire has been a pillar of stability and prosperity in the galaxy for millennia. Their participation in the upcoming negotiations is crucial. We cannot afford to antagonize them, even inadvertently. The human representative, Anita, spoke up once more, her voice firm. Then we must find a way to accommodate their request. Surely there are human pilots skilled enough to transport the Caesarian royalty to the diplomatic meeting. The Galactic Council members exchanged wary glances, the implications of Anita's suggestion weighing heavily upon them. Transporting the Caesarian ruling family aboard a human-crewed vessel was unprecedented, a potential minefield of cultural differences and political sensitivities. Finally, the Arcturian High Counselor Vexthera raised a tentacle. We shall put the matter to a vote. All in favor of fulfilling the Caesarians' request, say aye. One by one, the representatives voiced their assent, until the motion carried by a slim majority. Anita exhaled a quiet sigh of relief, aware that the Council's decision had set in motion a chain of events that would test the limits of human capabilities and diplomacy. As the meeting adjourned, Nraz approached Anita, his multifaceted eyes reflecting a mixture of concern and resignation. The humans have been given a great honor, Counselor Sharma. But tread carefully. The Caesarians are not known for their patience or understanding when it comes to perceived slights or incompetence. Anita nodded, squaring her shoulders. We may be new to the galactic stage, Nraz, but we are quick learners. I will personally oversee the selection and preparation of the human crew. They will not disappoint. With that, Anita strode from the chamber, her mind racing with the implications of the Council's decision. The fate of humanity's standing in the galaxy now rested on the shoulders of a handful of human pilots, tasked with the daunting challenge of transporting the Caesarian royalty to a crucial diplomatic meeting. It was a responsibility Anita was determined they would not take lightly. Anita Sharma strode into the Galactic Fleet Command headquarters, her footsteps echoing through the cavernous command center. Dozens of holographic displays flickered to life as she approached, each one showing the vital statistics and service records of human spacecraft pilots from across the Sol system. I need the very best you have to offer, Anita said, her gaze sweeping across the seasoned officers gathered before her. The Caesarian royal family has requested a human-crewed vessel to transport them to the upcoming diplomatic meeting. This is an unprecedented opportunity, but also a tremendous responsibility. The assembled pilots exchanged uneasy glances, the weight of Anita's words settling upon them. The Caesarians were legendary for their technological prowess, their towering starships and advanced systems decades, if not centuries, beyond human capabilities. To ferry their royalty to a crucial galactic summit was a daunting prospect, fraught with the potential for disaster. A grizzled veteran, Commander Amelia Vargas stepped forward, her weathered features resolute. "You have our attention, Counselor Sharma. What exactly are the parameters of this mission?" Anita nodded, grateful for Vargas' steady presence. "The Caesarians have specified that they wish to be transported aboard a state-of-the-art human spacecraft, crewed by our most skilled pilots. You and your team will be responsible for the safe transport of the Caesarian royal party, as well as representing humanity's capabilities to the larger galactic community." Vargas let out a low whistle, her brow furrowing in thought. No small task that. The Caesarians are not known for their patience or understanding when it comes to perceived failures or incompetence. "Precisely," Anita replied, her gaze sweeping across the assembled pilots, "which is why I've handpicked each of you to undertake this mission. You are the finest of the galactic fleet, with a proven track record of adaptability, quick thinking, and unwavering courage." The pilots straightened their postures, a newfound sense of purpose and determination etching their features. Anita continued, "You will have access to the latest human spacecraft technology, as well as a dedicated support team to ensure your vessel is in peak condition. Failure is not an option." Vargas stepped forward, her eyes gleaming with a mix of trepidation and pride. "Then we will not fail, Counselor Sharma. Humanity's standing in the galaxy rests on our shoulders, and we will not let our world down." The other pilots murmured their assent, their expressions resolute. Anita allowed herself a small smile, knowing that she had selected the ideal team for this crucial mission. "Very well," she said, her voice clear and commanding. "Prepare your crew, Commander Vargas. You will depart for the Caesarian homeworld within the next 48 hours. May the stars guide your path, and may your actions reflect the best of what humanity has to offer." As Anita turned to leave, Vargas placed a hand on her arm, her gaze filled with a mixture of trepidation and determination. "We will not let you down, Counselor. Humanity's future is in our hands." Anita nodded, her own resolve hardening. "I know you won't. Godspeed, Commander. The galaxy is watching." With that, Anita strode from the command center, her mind racing with the implications of the mission ahead. The fate of humanity standing in the galactic community now rested squarely on the shoulders of the hand-picked human crew, tasked with the daunting challenge of transporting the Caesarian royalty to a crucial diplomatic meeting. It was a responsibility they could not afford to fail. The state-of-the-art human spacecraft gleamed in the violet-hued light of Caesar's twin suns, its sleek, angular design a testament to the rapid technological advancements of humanity. Commander Amelia Vargas stood at the viewport, her weathered features betraying a hint of awe as she gazed upon the sprawling Caesarian capital city. "By the stars," she murmured, her eyes drinking in the sight of towering spires that seemed to pierce the very fabric of the heavens. Colossal ships, their hulls shimmering with an otherworldly luminescence, glided effortlessly through the bustling skies, a vivid display of the Caesarians' mastery of space travel. Behind her, the rest of the human crew stood in silent wonder, their conversation hushed as they too marveled at the technological wonders that lay before them. For all their training and experience, nothing could have prepared them for the sheer scale and grandeur of the Caesarian homeworld. Vargas took a deep, steadying breath, then turned to address her team. "Remember, everyone, we are here to represent the best of humanity. The Caesarians may be millennia ahead of us in terms of technology, but we have our own strengths, resourcefulness, adaptability, and the willingness to take on any challenge, no matter how daunting." The pilots nodded, their expressions resolute. They knew the stakes were high, not just for the success of this mission, but for the future of human-alien relations. A single misstep could jeopardize humanity's standing in the galactic community, perhaps even closing the door to further interaction and cooperation. As the human vessel touched down on the gleaming spaceport, a contingent of Caesarian guards approached, their regal bearing and ornate uniforms, a stark contrast to the more utilitarian attire of the human crew. At their center stood the imposing figure of Crown Prince Valzok, his piercing gaze fixed upon the human pilots as they disembarked. Vargas stepped forward, her back straight, and her expression neutral. "On behalf of the Galactic Council and the people of Earth, we welcome you aboard our vessel, Your Highness." Valzok's lips curled into a faint, almost imperceptible sneer. "So these are the famous human pilots who have been entrusted with the transport of my royal person." He cast a disdainful glance over the crew, his golden eyes narrowing. "We shall see if your kind is truly capable of the task at hand." Vargas resisted the urge to bristle at the prince's condescending tone. "Rest assured, Your Highness, my crew and I are more than capable of ensuring your safe passage. We have been handpicked for this mission, and we will not disappoint." Valzok's gaze lingered on the human commander, a hint of begrudging respect flickering in his eyes. "See that you do not," he said, before turning and sweeping toward the human vessel, his retinue of guards trailing behind him. As the Khazarian royalty boarded the ship, the human crew exchanged uneasy glances, the weight of their responsibility pressing down upon them. They had been entrusted with a task that could make or break humanity's standing in the galaxy, and they knew that failure was not an option. With a deep breath, Vargas led her team back onto the vessel, her resolve hardening. The journey had only just begun, and they would need to draw upon every ounce of their skill and determination to see it through. As the Khazarian entourage settled into the spacious accommodations of the human vessel, a palpable tension hung in the air. The regal aliens regarded their surroundings with a mixture of disdain and curiosity, their piercing gazes scrutinizing every detail of the human-made technology. Crown Prince Valzok, in particular, seemed utterly unimpressed, his lips curled in a perpetual sneer as he observed the crew going about their duties. He had made his distaste for relying on lesser civilizations abundantly clear, and the human pilots could feel his contemptuous gaze upon them at every turn. Yet, as the journey progressed, something unexpected began to unfold. Bit by bit, the Khazarian royals found themselves reluctantly impressed by the skill and adaptability of the human crew. Where they had expected bumbling incompetence, they encountered a level of professionalism and technical mastery that gave them pause. Valzok, in particular, found his attention drawn to the quiet determination of Commander Vargas as she navigated the complex systems of the vessel with a sure hand. The prince had spent millennia surrounded by the cold, detached efficiency of his own kind, and the passion that burned within the human woman was a novel, almost intriguing sight. One evening, as Vargas ran a routine systems check, she became aware of a presence at her side. Turning, she found herself face to face with the imposing figure of the Khazarian Crown Prince. "Your crew handles this vessel with a surprising degree of competence, Commander," Valzok said, his voice devoid of its usual disdain. Vargas straightened, her expression neutral. "We are the best the Galactic Fleet has to offer, Your Highness. Anything less would be unacceptable." Valzok's brow quirked slightly, a flicker of respect crossing his features. "Indeed." He paused, his golden eyes studying the human woman with a newfound curiosity. "Tell me, Commander, what drives your people to such heights of achievement? Surely, it cannot be mere ambition that fuels your kind's relentless push for progress." Vargas considered the question for a moment, weighing her words carefully. "It is not ambition, Your Highness, but a deep-seated need to explore, to understand, and to push the boundaries of what is possible. Humans are driven by an insatiable curiosity, a drive to constantly better ourselves and our circumstances." The prince's gaze narrowed, his expression contemplative. "Curious. Your people are indeed an enigma to us Caesarians. We have long prided ourselves on our technological and cultural superiority, yet you humans seem to possess a certain spark that eludes us." Vargas allowed herself a faint smile. "Perhaps, Your Highness, it is that very spark that has led us to this moment, transporting the esteemed Caesarian royal family aboard a human-crewed vessel." Valzok's lips twitched, the beginnings of a smile tugging at the corners of his mouth. "Indeed, Commander." Perhaps there is more to your kind than meets the eye." With that, the prince turned and strode away, leaving Vargas to ponder the implications of their unexpected exchange. The once disdainful alien had begun to look upon the humans with a measure of respect, and perhaps even a hint of fascination. It was a small victory, but one that filled the commander's heart with cautious optimism. As she returned to her duties, Vargas knew that the journey had only just begun. The true test would come when they reached their destination. But for now, she allowed herself a moment of quiet pride. Humanity was beginning to make its mark on the galaxy, one small step at a time. The steady hum of the human vessel's engines had lulled the Caesarian royals into a rare moment of relaxation, their usually stoic demeanor softened by the monotony of the voyage. Crown Prince Valzok found himself gazing out the viewports, his golden eyes reflecting the vast expanse of stars that stretched before them. Suddenly, a series of sharp alarms pierced the silence, causing the prince and his entourage to jump in their seats. Commander Vargas' voice rang out, crisp and urgent, over the ship's intercom. "All hands, report to your stations immediately. We have experienced a critical systems failure and are now adrift in space. I repeat, critical systems failure. We are dead in the void." Valzok felt a flutter of panic in his chest, a rare and unsettling sensation for one of his lofty status. The human vessel, so reliable and competent until this point, had now become a floating tomb, its occupants vulnerable to the unforgiving harshness of deep space. The Caesarian guards sprang into action, their faces etched with grim determination as they rushed to secure the royal party. Valzok, however, remained rooted to the spot, his eyes fixed on the human crew as they frantically worked to diagnose and repair the crippling malfunction. Vargas, her brow furrowed in concentration, barked orders to her team, her voice betraying a hint of desperation. "The main reactor has suffered a catastrophic failure. We're losing life support systems fast. We need to reroute auxiliary power and stabilize the core before we're all dead in the void." The human pilots scrambled to their stations, their fingers dancing across the holographic displays as they fought to regain control of the stricken vessel. Valzok watched, his earlier disdain for their lesser capabilities replaced by a growing sense of apprehension. Suddenly, a thought occurred to the prince. These humans, so resourceful and determined, just might possess the skills to save them all. Squaring his shoulders, Valzok strode toward the harried crew, his voice cutting through the tense atmosphere. "Commander Vargas, my people and I are at your disposal. Whatever assistance you require, you need only command it." Vargas paused, her eyes widening in surprise at the prince's unexpected offer. "Your Highness, I'm not sure what to say. Your people's expertise could prove invaluable, but the risks." Valzok raised a hand, silencing her. "Risks be damned, Commander. We are all in this together now. If your crew is to have any chance of repairing this vessel, you will need every resource at your disposal." Vargas studied the prince's face for a moment, searching for any sign of deception. Finding only grim determination, she nodded sharply. "Then let's get to work. Time is of the essence." As the Caesarian guards and technicians joined the human crew in their desperate struggle to save the stricken spacecraft, Valzok stood back, observing the frantic activity with a newfound sense of respect. These humans, once so dismissively viewed, were now proving their worth in the most dire of circumstances. The prince's lips curled into a faint smile. Perhaps, just perhaps, there was more to these spirited, resourceful creatures than he had ever imagined. The grand diplomatic hall of the Galactic Council was abuzz with murmurs and curious glances as the human vessel carrying the Caesarian royal entourage glided gracefully into the docking bay. The other delegates, representing a vast array of alien civilizations, had gathered to witness the historic occasion, their eyes fixed upon the sleek, angular craft. As the ramp descended, the Caesarian guards emerged first, their ceremonial uniforms gleaming in the bright lights of the chamber. Then, to the surprise of the onlookers, Crown Prince Valzok himself strode forth, his features uncharacteristically animated as he gestured toward the human crew disembarking behind him. Esteemed members of the Galactic Council, Velzok's sonorous voice echoed through the hall, commanding the attention of all present. I stand before you today to bear witness to the skill and resilience of our human counterparts. The delegates exchanged puzzled glances, unused to hearing such praise from the famously aloof and condescending Caesarian prince. Velzok continued, his golden eyes sweeping across the assembly. During our voyage, our vessel suffered a critical systems failure, leaving us adrift and facing the very real prospect of perishing in the void of space. The prince paused, his expression grave. It was only through the tireless efforts and remarkable ingenuity of the human crew that we now stand before you, alive and unharmed. Murmurs of surprise and admiration rippled through the crowd, their gazes turning with newfound respect toward the small group of human pilots. Vargas, her expression stoic, stepped forward to stand beside the prince, her crew flanking her. Your Highness, on behalf of my crew, Vargas began, but Velzok raised a hand, silencing her. No, Commander Vargas, it is I who should be speaking. The prince's lips curled into a rare smile. For too long, we Caesarians have viewed the younger civilizations of this galaxy with disdain, believing our technological and cultural superiority to be beyond question. Velzok's gaze swept across the assembled delegates, his expression almost apologetic. But the events of this journey have shown me, and my people, that such assumptions are foolish and short-sighted. The humans have demonstrated a level of resourcefulness, adaptability, and sheer determination that has humbled us all. The hall fell silent, the weight of Velzok's words settling upon the gathered delegates. The Caesarian prince paused, his features softening. It is with great pride and hope that I announce the Caesarian Empire's intention to forge deeper ties and greater cooperation with the human civilization. Their contributions to this mission, and to the future of the galaxy, cannot be overstated. A thunderous round of applause erupted, the other delegates rising to their feet in a gesture of respect and admiration. Vargas, her eyes shining with a mixture of pride and disbelief, clasped the hands of her crew, their faces alight with joy and triumph. As the cheers subsided, Velzok raised a hand, commanding the attention of the hall once more. The humans have earned our trust and our friendship. Let this be the start of a new era of unity and progress for all the peoples of the galaxy. The delegates roared their approval. The bond between the Caesarians and the humans forged in the crucible of adversity, and strengthened by a newfound respect and understanding. The diplomatic meeting had been a resounding success, with the Caesarian Empire securing a series of crucial alliances and trade agreements that would strengthen its position as a galactic power. But for the human crew, the true triumph lay not in the political maneuverings, but in the newfound respect and admiration they had earned from their Caesarian counterparts. As the delegates dispersed, Crown Prince Velzok approached Commander Vargas, his golden eyes shining with a rare warmth. Commander, a word, if I may. Vargas straightened, her expression neutral, though inwardly she felt a flicker of anticipation. Of course, Your Highness. What can I do for you? Velzok clasped his hands behind his back, his regal bearing momentarily softening. I wish to express, on behalf of myself and the Caesarian Empire, our deepest gratitude for your crew's actions during our voyage. You have shown us that the humans are a force to be reckoned with, and that our prejudices against your kind were ill-founded. Vargas felt a surge of pride, though she maintained her composure. The credit belongs to my team, Your Highness. They are the finest the Galactic Fleet has to offer, and I'm honored to have had the opportunity to work alongside them. Velzok inclined his head, his lips curling into a faint smile. Indeed, they are an impressive group, which is why I have a most unusual request for you, Commander. Vargas raised a brow, her curiosity piqued. And what might that be, Your Highness? I would be honored if you and your crew would accept an invitation to visit our homeworld, Caesar. Velzok's voice was laced with a sincerity that caught Vargas off guard. It is the least we can do to repay the debt we owe you, and to further strengthen the bonds between our peoples. Vargas felt her breath catch in her throat. An invitation to the Caesarian homeworld was an honor that few, if any, humans had ever received. She knew that this was a pivotal moment, not just for her crew, but for the future of human-Caesarian relations. Your Highness, I don't know what to say. Vargas paused, her mind racing. This is an incredible opportunity, and one that my crew would be honored to accept. Valzak's eyes gleamed with satisfaction. Excellent. I shall make the necessary arrangements. You and your team will be our guests of honor, Commander. Welcome to a new era of cooperation between our civilizations. With that, the prince turned and strode away, leaving Vargas to process the weight of his words. She knew that this invitation was more than just a gesture of goodwill. It was a testament to the human crew's accomplishments, and a sign that the Caesarians were genuinely interested in forging a deeper, more meaningful alliance. As Vargas rejoined her crewmates, she could see the same sense of wonder and disbelief etched upon their faces. They had come to this mission as representatives of humanity, but they were returning as pioneers, ambassadors of a new era in galactic relations. "We did it, team," Vargas said, her voice thick with emotion. "We've not only proven our worth, but we've opened the door to a future of cooperation and understanding between our peoples. This is just the beginning." The human crew erupted into a chorus of cheers and laughter, their triumphant spirits soaring ever higher. They knew that the journey ahead would be filled with challenges, but they were ready to face them head-on, confident in the knowledge that their actions had forever changed the course of human Caesarian history. The streets of the bustling human city were alive with excitement and celebration as the crew of the pioneering spacecraft returned home. News of their remarkable achievements had spread like wildfire, capturing the imagination of people across the Sol system. As the human pilots disembarked from the vessel, they were greeted with thunderous applause and cheers, the crowd surging forward to catch a glimpse of the heroes who had represented humanity on the galactic stage. Anita Sharma, the Galactic Council representative, stood at the forefront, her eyes shining with pride as she welcomed them back. "Welcome home, brave explorers." Anita's voice rang out, cutting through the din of the crowd. "Your actions have not only secured the respect and admiration of the Caesarian Empire, but have paved the way for a new era of cooperation and understanding between our peoples." Commander Vargas, her usually stoic features softened by a broad smile, stepped forward to address the throng. "This victory does not belong to us alone, but to all of humanity. We are but the representatives of the boundless potential and determination that exists within our civilization." The crowd erupted into thunderous applause, their cheers echoing through the city streets. Vargas raised a hand, silencing them with a gentle gesture. "But our work is far from over. The Caesarian prince has extended an invitation for us to visit their homeworld, an honor that few humans have ever received. This is a pivotal moment, not just for our crew, but for the future of our species' place in the galaxy." Anita nodded, stepping forward to stand beside Vargas. "Indeed, the humans have proven their worth, their resilience, and their unwavering spirit in the eyes of one of the oldest and most powerful civilizations in the known universe. This is a testament to the incredible potential of our kind." The crowd murmured in awe, their expressions filled with a mixture of pride and anticipation. Vargas turned to her crew, her gaze sweeping across their faces. "My friends, we have been entrusted with a great responsibility. The eyes of our world, and the galaxy beyond, are upon us, but I have no doubt that we are more than equal to the task." The human pilots nodded, their resolve hardening. They knew that the journey ahead would be fraught with challenges, but they were no longer daunted by the prospect. Their experiences had forged them into a formidable team, one capable of representing the best of humanity on the grandest of stages. As the crowd erupted into another round of thunderous applause, Vargas turned to Anita, her expression solemn. "We will not let our world down, Counselor Sharma. The Caesarians have extended their hand in friendship, and we will grasp it with all the strength and determination of our species." Anita smiled, her eyes shining with unspoken pride. "I know you won't, Commander. Go and show the galaxy what humanity is capable of." With that, Vargas and her crew stepped forward, their faces alight with a newfound sense of purpose. They were no longer mere representatives of their world. They were pioneers, ambassadors of a future where humanity stood shoulder to shoulder with the most advanced civilizations of the galaxy. The journey was only beginning, but the human crew was ready to face it head-on, confident in the knowledge that their actions had forever altered the course of human history.